All right, let's dive straight in. Technology in 2025, I mean, it's coming at us fast, right?
It really is almost dizzying sometimes. Trying to keep track, it's a lot.
Totally. And that's really why we're doing this deep dive. We've gone through the sources you sent over,
Hmm.
and the mission today is, well, to pull out the really important stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the must-know developments, and frankly, some of the just plain cool things shaping tech right now.
Exactly. And we've looked at quite a range, from the AI that's kind of quietly weaving itself into our daily lives,
Right.
all the way to, well, big steps in space exploration. The goal is to give you, the listener, a clear picture of these key shifts.
And why they actually matter without getting lost in, super technical jargon.
Precisely.
So we're covering a lot. AI becoming more everyday, quantum computing maybe getting practical, spatial computing, sustainable tech, which is huge, robots getting smarter, cybersecurity,
Can't forget that one.
and yeah, space tech. So quite the list. Where should we kick things off?
Let's start with artificial intelligence, AI. Because really it's moved way beyond the lab. It's tangible now. It's part of how things work in 2025.
Right. Yeah, forget the killer robots for a second. This is different.
Totally different.
It feels less like a separate thing and more like an intelligence layer added onto the tools we already use.
That's a great way to put it. It's augmenting what we do. And what's really significant, I think, is this shift towards practical help.
Okay.
The sources, they highlight AI acting as a sort of co-pilot.
Co-pilot. Interesting.
Yeah, in fields you normally think of as purely human, like drafting complex emails or documents, generating code,
Yeah.
even supporting really sophisticated research, legal research, medical research.
So it's about making professionals better or faster, not replacing them.
That seems to be the focus now, yes.
Yeah.
Augmenting expertise, freeing people up for maybe more strategic thinking, more innovation.
Okay, that makes sense. And it's not just work stuff, is it? I mean, generative AI.
Right.
Creating images, music, those super realistic videos from just a text prompt. That feels like it's just exploding.
It absolutely is. And it's really opening up creativity for lots more people.
Definitely.
And the innovation keeps going. Think about AI assistants getting better at the boring stuff.
Like scheduling my meetings, please.
Exactly. Scheduling, booking travel, maybe even drafting the first pass of a report. It's about getting time back.
We could all use more of that. And education too, right? The potential there seems huge.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
AI-powered learning systems, the kind that adapt to how each individual student learns,
Yeah.
adjusting the pace, the style. They could genuinely revolutionize things, helping students really grasp concepts better.
That personalization is key.
It is. And you see that same potential in healthcare. AI for diagnostics, analyzing scans, medical data, potentially spotting diseases much faster, much earlier than we can now.
So really speeding up diagnosis, getting treatment started sooner.
The potential is certainly there. Early signs point to, a significant speed up.
Okay, so AI, definitely here, very practical, making a difference. Let's switch gears a bit. Quantum computing.
Right.
Still feels a bit out there, but maybe not.
Well, what's exciting, and what the sources are pointing to for 2025,
Yeah.
is that it's moving out of just pure theory.
Okay.
We're seeing major tech companies, and actually a lot of startups too, testing quantum systems for specific kinds of problems.
Problems that our current computers, even supercomputers, struggle with.
Exactly. Normal computers use bits 0 or 1.
Right.
Quantum uses qubits. They can be 0, 1, or crucially, kind of both at the same time. It's called superposition.
Okay, that's the weird part.
That's the weird and powerful part. It lets them explore vastly more possibilities simultaneously.
Okay.
So for certain complex calculations, they're potentially game-changing.
So not just faster, but a whole different way of computing. What are the real-world applications people are testing?
Well, a big one mentioned is using quantum simulations for drug development.
Okay.
Imagine being able to accurately model how a potential drug molecule interacts with proteins in the body at that quantum level before you even do lab tests.
Wow, that could save so much time and money.
Potentially, yes. Same idea for materials. Science designing brand new materials with specific properties we haven't even imagined yet.
That sounds like it could really accelerate scientific breakthroughs. The sources also mention governments getting involved.
Yeah.
Especially around encryption.
Yeah, that's a big one because the very power of quantum computers means they could eventually break the encryption we rely on today.
Right, for banking, secure communications, everything.
Exactly. So there's a race, essentially, to develop quantum-resistant encryption, future-proofing our security for when these machines become more powerful.
Okay, vital work then.
Yeah.
All right, so from the incredibly small and powerful quantum world, let's talk about merging digital and physical, spatial computing, mixed reality.
Yes. This feels like a really significant shift in how we interact with tech. Devices like, say, the Apple Vision Pro are kind of leading the charge here.
So what is spatial computing exactly? Is it just VR again?
Not quite. Think of it as understanding and interacting with digital information within your physical space. Mixed reality is part of that, blending the virtual and the real more seamlessly.
So digital stuff overlaid on my room.
Kind of, yeah. And crucially, you're interacting differently, using your eyes, your voice, your hands, maybe no keyboard, no mouse, no screen even, in the traditional sense.
Moving beyond the rectangle.
Exactly. The digital world kind of steps out of the screen into your environment.
Okay. I can see that being weird at first, but powerful.
Well-
What are some actual examples people are using now?
Well, in the workplace, mixed reality is being used for things like virtual offices.
Uh-huh.
Collaboration gets a boost. Imagine reviewing a 3D design model on a real table with your remote colleagues appearing almost like holograms right there with you.
That sounds much better than a Zoom call. Definitely more interactive.
Right. And beyond work, think education. Advanced augmented reality AR brings a human heart or a historical site right into the classroom in 3D.
Making things tangible.
Yeah, exactly. Gaming, obviously, is getting way more immersive. And even practical things like interior design. See how that sofa looks in your actual living room before you buy it.
Okay, yeah, I can see the appeal there. This is all fascinating, but let's pivot slightly to something really critical. Sustainable tech.
Absolutely crucial. It's clear tech has to be a huge part of tackling climate change, resource management.
It's not just a nice to have anymore.
Not at all. The sources really emphasize this. Sustainability is a core goal for tech in 2025. You see it in big projects like solar-powered cities, but also in smarter energy grids.
So how is tech helping specifically? What are the innovations?
AI is a big player here, controlling smart grids, for instance.
How does that work?
Well, AI can analyze energy usage patterns across a city in real time, predict demand, and distribute power much more efficiently. Less waste.
Smart.
We're also seeing better green batteries for storing renewable energy, and a big push for more eco-friendly data centers. Those things use a lot of power.
Tell me about it. And it's not just energy, right? What about like smart cities?
Yeah, urban tech is another area. Things like smart traffic sensors to manage flow better, reduce congestion, cut emissions, or even pollution monitoring drones flying around, gathering real-time data so cities can actually target interventions better, improving quality of life.
Okay, interesting. From cities to maybe factories and homes, robotics and automation. Feels like robots are getting, well, better.
They are more capable, yes, but also easier to use, more adaptable. That's a key trend highlighted in the sources for 2025.
So moving beyond those big caged robot arms in car factories.
Definitely. Think about delivery drones or those little sidewalk robots bringing you your lunch.
Yeah, starting to see those around.
That's last-mile logistics changing. Then there's the potential for robotic caregivers, assisting elderly people with daily tasks, providing some companionship maybe.
That's a sensitive area, but potentially huge.
It is. And even in the home, maybe automated kitchens or smart farming systems becoming more common for efficient food production.
Right. Humans and robots working, living side by side more. Which brings us neatly to cybersecurity.
Yes, with all this digital stuff, all this connection, all this automation, security becomes absolutely critical.
It has to be top priority.
It is. The
Yes.
sources confirm that. And we're seeing innovation there too. Things like biometric ID getting more sophisticated.
Fingerprints, face scans.
Right. Blockchain is being used for authentication, ensuring data hasn't been tampered with. And AI, again, playing a role in spotting threats.
AI hunting the bad guys.
Sort of, yeah. AI systems trained to detect unusual patterns, potential breaches, much faster than humans sometimes can. Proactive defense.
So what are the main strategies? How are companies defending themselves?
One big shift is towards zero-trust architecture.
Zero trust. Sounds harsh.
It kind of means trust no one by default. Even if you're already inside the network, every user, every device has to constantly verify itself to access anything.
So like constantly showing your ID pass, even when you're already in the building.
That's a good analogy, yeah. No implicit trust. Plus, that AI-powered fraud detection we mentioned, and also a bigger push for transparency.
Transparency. How so?
Companies being clearer about what data they collect, how to use it, trying to build more digital trust with users.
Which seems pretty essential these days.
Right.
Okay, last big topic, and it's literally out of this world. Space technology.
Yeah. And 2025 looks like a really dynamic year for space, according to the sources.
What's driving that?
A huge factor is the role of private companies. It's not just NASA or government agencies anymore.
Right, SpaceX, Blue Origin, others.
Exactly. They're launching satellites, yes,
Yeah.
but also developing commercial space stations, testing tech for eventual Mars missions. It's a very active area.
So space is opening up for business, kind of.
That seems to be the direction. Commercial space flights, space tourism may be becoming more common. Those big satellite constellations like Starlink, aiming to bring high-speed internet everywhere, even remote places, that's a game changer. And looking even further out, you've got startups seriously looking at space mining, getting resources from the moon or asteroids.
Wow. That still sounds like sci-fi, but maybe closer than we think.
Perhaps. It could have huge implications back here on Earth eventually.
It really feels like a new space race, but maybe a more collaborative commercial one this time.
Yeah, driven by both public and private innovation. It's fascinating to watch.
Absolutely. Well, okay. We have covered a ton of ground. AI, quantum, MR, sustainability, robotics, cyber, space.
Phew. Yeah, the pace of change in 2025 is just incredible. And it really is reshaping how we live, how we work, how we connect.
It really underscores how important it is to, try and keep up, stay adaptable. So as you, our listener, think about all this, the AI helpers, the quantum leaps, the blended reality, the green tech push, smarter robots, digital defenses, the new space frontier, what's maybe one big question or thought people should be chewing on, something about the wider impact?
That's a great question to end on, maybe. How do we ensure all this powerful technology, especially things like AI and automation, actually serves humanity broadly? How do we manage the transition, ethically and equitably so the benefits are shared and the downsides minimized? It's not just about can we do it, but should we? Yeah. And how?
That's a big one. Definitely something to keep pondering long after this deep dive ends. How do we steer this incredible power?